Hey, welcome to IOTG, the show that keeps you inspired, informed, and to know. I'm your host, Vision X, and we are joined by our normal co-hosts, Nikki, Janine, and Maya. And I'm going to have them introduce themselves as well because they have their own platforms as well. We'll start with Nikki.
Hi, everybody. It's Nikki. I'm on TikTok as Bitch Happens, all one word. YouTube is Knickknack23. That's NIKNAK23. And on Instagram, bitch_happens.
All right, and we will start with Maya.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Maya Lamise. You can find me on all platforms at Maya Lamise as you see it on the screen. YouTube is Elevate with Maya, but if you type in Maya Lamise, it'll still come up.
And last but not least, Miss Janine.
What's up, beautiful people? This is Boss Up and Get It Now. You know you can find me on every platform, same name, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, etc., etc.
All right, so there's a lot that was happening. I mean, just in a week. We're just going to start hopping right into the videos. We're going to start talking about it because there is a lot that is currently going on right now. Just everything that we're currently seeing. And oh, why is this not working? Oh, it won't let me minimize this. 1 second, y'all. I'm trying to, you know how you deal with technology. All right, we're going
Yep,
to.
you got a mind of his own sometimes.
All right, so we are going to start with the first video. If it plays.
Los Angeles, today didn't feel like home. Ice hit the city hard. Businesses shut down. Families vanished. The fashion district was gripped by fear. We all saw it with our own eyes. A young girl collapsed crying for her father, and in that moment, every wall we had shattered. This isn't policy. This is pain. This is real. People say it's happened before. Sure, but this feels different because we're not reading about it, we're living it. It's 2025 and it's all unfolding in front of us on phones, in streets, in plain view. And this administration, they're not just enforcing cruelty, they're showcasing it, mocking it, trying to make us numb. But we see it, we feel it, and we will not look away. This is for my city, for every family who came here searching for safety and a future. Stay awake, stay loud, don't stay silent.
I'm going to play another video because she talks for a long time too. So we'll start with the next one.
In the way of anything. We're not in. No, if y'all gonna be shut down for the day. I'm trying to get up the box. Shut down for the day. Shut down permanently. Other than your screaming tomorrow.
And I'm going to play one more video so that way we can have, I'm going to play him next after that. That way I can kind of see this.
Standing off this situation that's now rapidly deteriorated. The LAPD moving in on horseback, firing rubber bullets at protesters, moving them on through the heart of LA.
All right. What do y'all think?
Okay, so I want to say we hit on a little bit about this last week because they make these videos so heartfelt and try to tug at people's heartstrings. And it's just like we feel where y'all coming from. We understand exactly what y'all going through because we have always gone through it. I don't like all those sad violin type of I stop it. You're not gonna pull at my heartstrings and you're not gonna make me come outside. I'm not fucking coming. I'm sitting watching my husband play the game. That's what I'm doing. Leave me alone.
I'm with Maya on that. I understand what they're doing, but it's also I don't know who the audience is, but it feels for me like it's manipulative because we've already gone through this. Like you can't threaten Black people with a bad time because I don't care who we're in this country around the world. Nobody has been subjected to the shit that Black people have been subjected to, and we've already survived. And we continue to survive it. We can't be second on the list because we're still number one. The only reason they're going after them is because they know that Black people have already survived it. So you can't, like, we're not afraid of this shit. We know how to stick and move. We know how to bob and weave. Y'all don't. And this is something, until they take accountability, you got to go through this. You don't want to address your people. So until you want to address the anti-Blackness within your community, you cannot come to us. You cannot gaslight me into going out there. I'm protesting with my purse. I'm doing other shit. And if I do something within the community, it's going to be for the Black community. Pro-Black is not anti-everybody else. And if you take it like that, you're showing me who you are. That first video, the only part that pissed me off about that first video is when she said, we're reading it, but now we're living it. Bitch, we've been living it. Like you're reading about it and now you're living it. You can't talk to us about it. So it's just like, I'm glad people are out there protesting. But had you voted correctly, you wouldn't be having to do that. And nobody wants to talk about that, especially white liberals and Latinos. They don't want to talk about that, but that's the truth of the matter. So I'm with Maya on that. I'm just like,
I also want to touch on something you said because they always, like those videos in particular didn't call for Black people, but they always call for Black people to come outside. Why don't y'all check the people that's doing the fucked up shit in the first place? Y'all always calling for us. It's time for y'all to be on the front line. How about you turn to your neighbor and tell your Caucasian counterpart that you're wrong and your parents are wrong and your uncles are wrong? How about you check them first before you trying to check us about not wanting to come outside and fight with y'all?
Because they still want to be good Latinos. They still see their perceived proximity to whiteness. They still have a pseudo superiority complex. So they still are trying to be in the good graces of white people. Even though they're saying they don't like what white people are doing, they're still doing it. Just like the Cubans down here. They're not going against Trump. They're begging Trump. Please, to give me my family, the girl's dad, 6 months to live. Give him back to us. And that white man on that phone says, sorry, we still going with our original thing, which is no, we can't release him. So you don't regret your vote. You regret that it's affecting you because you're still begging that man who is putting you in this position for his help when clearly he does not want to help you. So no, especially, I don't know about Mexicans other than what I'm seeing online and how they're being racist online, but born and raised in Miami and still being here, I know what I speak about the Cubans, and they get zero sympathy from me on that regard. Do I think what's happening is right? No, because I have a conscience and a soul, and because I have a conscience and a soul, I voted the right way, so I can sleep at night.
That's the thing. They want to kumbaya now when we wanted to kumbaya at the polls.
There you go.
I'm sorry.
Here's my thing, though. I absolutely empathize. I do. I hate what's happening. I hate how it's happening. We can't deny that we're living under a full-blown dictatorship. I despise the way everything is going down. Now, having said that, let me say I will never laugh at someone's misfortune. I will never laugh at someone's downfall. I will, however, laugh at the mindset that brought about your own downfall. Because here's the thing, a lot of these people that you're seeing posting videos like this, if you go back before all of this started, they have not one video posting about anything. They're posting pics like, look at my ass, look how cute I am, look at my outfit, look at this. But now all of a sudden, they see it as an opportunity to boost their account, because videos like this are going viral right now. They
Yes.
see it as an opportunity to make some money. So those people can take a short walk. The people that are actually out there doing something, my question is, why did you not do this before November 5th, 2024? Why were you not so vocal and active and boots to the ground before November 5th, 2024? And the short and sweet answer is because you didn't vote for this. You voted for this to happen to other people. You voted based on your proximity. You voted based on your hatred. You voted based on your racism. You voted to hurt other people. And it's the same thing that we've seen far too often in the European American community. Nothing matters. Nothing is important. Nothing hits home until it lands on their front door. And then it becomes we. But it wasn't we when they stepped into those booths and voted. So while my heart breaks, while I can empathize, sweetie, I'm thinking about what I'm going to cook for dinner tonight. I will not come out in those streets for anyone because they have yet to hold their own accountable. They are afraid, and let's call it what it is. They are afraid to hold white people accountable. So the next target is black people. Stand with us. While you're on video calling a black cop the N word with the hard ER, I think not. I'm good. I wish you the best. I hope you're successful in your protest. I hope everything works out, but I will not shed a tear when you do not hold your own people accountable.
And I want to play, and I want to play some, I want to play some videos real quick. So we're going
Can
to
I
come
add
back to
one more
this.
thing before you play a video?
Go
Add
ahead.
one more thing. They don't truly want us to stand with them because I had a person go off on me because pretty much the same conversation we have now, and it was a Hispanic person like, well, y'all need to go to Africa. Y'all like the instead of them, trying to articulate like, oh, I'm with you. They started off that way, like, we're with you. We want you to stand with us because we stood with you. And then they started going into, well, don't eat tacos anymore and stop visiting Hispanic places when you go vacation. Go vacation in Africa. And I was like, this is exactly why we're not coming to stand with you, because you really don't want us to.
After you play this,
Down inside.
this is. Let me just.
It's going to continue on to this conversation. This
Oh, okay.
It's a continuation.
Oh, okay.
Trust me, I ain't changing the subject just yet.
Okay. Because I got some. This is it, but yeah.
Everybody was popping out. Every celebrity, YG. Black people don't owe your people anything. Black people owe you nothing. Black people owe your people nothing. I don't care if it's a black celebrity. I don't care if it's a black politician. I don't care if it's a black freaking basketball player. I don't care. Black people don't owe you nothing. Black people choose to do stuff because it's the right thing to do, but black people don't owe it to you. Your video screams of entitlement. You are not entitled to our labor. You are not entitled to our voices. You are not entitled to our culture. You should have more energy in telling your people to not use the N-word than sitting here trying to tell black people what to do. By the way, Doechii said something yesterday at the BET Awards, a black entertainment television show, by the way. A black TV network, by the way, and still used her platform to speak up for your people. She didn't have to do that. She chose to do that. You let me know when Jennifer Lopez, Ricky Martin, Mark Anthony, Bad Bunny use their voices to speak up, like the product is right now in LA. Until then, don't be sitting here feeling comfortable to fix your lips on the internet, low-key trying to demand anything from black folks. Period. The BLM protest.
And I'm gonna play this next video as well. It goes right into it.
With the immigrants, cuz. What? We need to go downtown to protest with the essays.
Go down there and protest.
Yeah, black and brown love. We are allies, blood.
Let me think about that. Like, man, LA, dog, if you know, you know, and if you don't, you don't. LA's racist.
At the time, Martinez in that recording also referred to the child as a monkey. The councilman in a statement called the comments vile and disgraceful and said that, quote, Martinez attacked her son with horrific racist slurs and talked about her desire to physically harm him.
Well, we don't want to sign to no blacks.
Right.
Southsiders do want, guess, I don't want to speak on that, but we don't want to sign to no blacks.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Mexican gang, they already have their laws.
Yeah.
And you're going to follow their laws.
Yeah.
Like, you can't sleep in the cell with a black guy.
Really?
No, it's against the law.
A Mexican gang member cannot have a black cellie.
No. He has to go to the hole.
So he has to basically fight that guy.
They sabotage black and white people on jobs, get black and white people fired on jobs, and then you will see their cousins, their uncles, their brothers, their sisters, and everybody on the job got fired because they didn't try to get you out of there, and their whole family is there. And don't let one of them get to become a supervisor.
You know what? I'm gonna just sit this one out.
For real, folks? Are you sure?
Yeah, I am sure.
And one more.
Somebody let them know that they are arguing with black people, but their fight is really within their own community. Y'all know him?
Amen.
How about now?
Yep. Petitioning to have people deported.
Is the leader of the Proud
Enrico Tarrio.
And I'm just here to remind
however you say his name.
His name is Enrique Tarrio. That's right. He's a Latino. And the word on the curb is that the group of people that he leads, the Proud Boys, the white supremacist group, yeah, they're working with Donald Trump and ICE to round up undocumented immigrants. And I use quotes because they say they're undocumented, but we know that they are meeting these people down at their court hearings as they are legally trying to do things the right way. We know they aren't just out there looking for gang members or criminals because they are showing up at these people's jobs to arrest them, to deport them. Yeah, the word on the curb is that his white supremacist group, the Proud Boys, is working with ICE and Donald Trump to deport other Latinos. Yeah, Enrique Tarrio. That's
all right. What do y'all think of it?
Let me just say this real quick because I have to drop out, like I said, for a minute. Everything there. You don't get to call my people the N-word. You don't get to use the N-word. You don't
You're going in and out.
I think she's out. So who want to continue while she's out?
I'll say this in reference to that. I had posted a video also of like receipts because it was a Mexican. Where are all the brown people? Now that video, for context, was a little bit older when the protests first started, when the raids and everything first started earlier after his presidency, but it was still relevant. And in the same breath, she's asking where we are, and then she says, well, that's why we have better morals and better work ethic and better morals, and basically that Mexicans are better people. And so I've come to the conclusion that, and I've always known this, white and Latino people and other people of color, they don't want Black people to fight for and work and fight with them. They want us to work and fight for them. Mm-hmm. And there's a distinct difference, and that's how they see us. They see us as less than them. And so we are there to be at their beck. Our bodies and our labor is to be at their beck and call, because that's how they still see us. Because you can't ask us for help, and then when we have a hard boundary of no, you immediately go into the disrespect of the people you're asking help from. It doesn't work that way. And also, I think about it like this. if you think black, you're so much better than black people, you think we're inferior, you think that we're inept, we don't have high values, we don't have high morals, we don't have a good work ethic, then why the fuck would you want us to go in battle with you? Because that doesn't make sense to me. Because if I'm going into battle, I don't want people that will ensure my loss. So that lets me know that you don't want us there in solidarity. You want us there so that we can leave in body bags and you get to go home.
Ooh,
that is why you want us out there. You want us out there so we can, you killing two birds with one stone, because you literally getting us to help you and you also getting them to kill us. So that moves you one step closer into your perceived proximity to whiteness, because you ultimately don't want us here. And you know, unlike you, that's not saying they'll never try to find a way to deport black people, but they'll be very hard to do versus it being easier to deport Latinos. So you don't want us out there in solidarity, because the minute, if the simple fact that you can't understand why we're not out there lets us know everything we need to know about your motives, because you should automatically respect the boundary that we set forth, because we did what we were supposed to do, not just in that voting booth, but every other time before then. Because it is no coincidence that the only time Republicans give a fuck about Latinos is every 4 fucking years.
Yep. Same with
so
black people.
That's my take on it.
I want to add something about the one where they were talking about Latinos and blacks in jail.
What you were saying. You went out the first time, so we missed what you said the first time.
Oh, I was saying that you don't get you don't get to use the N-word and then tell us you're going to use the N-word regardless. You don't get in there, like I said, in their protest, there was video of them calling a black cop. I don't care what you're doing. They were calling that black cop the hard ER. I'm out of breath, excuse me. I just ran down 3 flights of stairs. And nobody around them said anything.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody corrected it. That lets me know this is what you think of us. So you say that in one breath, and then the next breath you demand our help. And I want to say something about the jail part. That is absolutely true.
It is.
I talk about my past all the time. I'm not ashamed of it. I've been to jail a few times, been to prison once. It is absolutely true. The disrespect amongst the Latinos that were there and the black people got a whole lot of Latinos ass whooped up in that jail. They think they're better. They've been fooled to think they're better, and you're not. And as soon as they realize that you don't get to wear black culture like a coat, put it on and take it off whenever you feel like it, the better off everybody will be. But you're not going to call any of my people the hard ER and then get on social media and cry and demand that we help you. My ass is big and you can kiss every part of it. And I mean that. Doesn't take away my empathy. It doesn't take away my sympathy. But you don't get to do that. I had one of my somebody come into my comment section when I said that, and she was like, well, if black people can use it. And I said, well, what if I didn't? She was Puerto Rican. I said, well, okay, well, let's normalize using the word spick. Now I sound as ignorant as you do. So are you okay with me saying that, spick? Because if that's okay, then we're going to normalize using the word spick. Like, let's be real. I sound as ignorant as you do. And then to tell me that you have the right to do it, and I have the right to sit this out. Hey.
And I want to say something that we were. There's a few things that because I like to take notes. All my note cards. So they were talking about why J-Lo and Bad Bunny did not speak up. I said, you're kidding. They're white Latino. Everybody want to be white. Everybody want to be included in white. White this, white that, white. I said, everybody want to be white so bad. I said, they're not even proud to be themselves. I said, so why would I listen to people talk about me as a black person and you're not even proud to be Mexican. You're not proud to be Cuban. You're not even proud. The creator of the Proud Boys, Enrique Tarrio, created the whole
perfect example
Latinos
of that.
for Trump. The whole thing.
Everybody want to be a nigga until they get treated like a nigger.
What's happening now?
That's what it is. Everybody, you talk shit about us, but you talk like us. You try to emulate us. You dress like us. Your music is us.
Mm-hmm.
When you make videos on TikTok or Instagram, you're using black sounds. You're not using Mexican sounds. You're not using Cubans aren't using Cuban music. No, y'all using our shit. You want to be us. You don't see niggas walking around with motherfucking sombreros on, but I bet you see Latinos dressing like our culture, our influence. That's why they feel like they can say it, and it's in the music. That music was not meant for you. It was meant for us. You can consume.
But you know what? Here, I'm gonna play devil's advocate on that because that's our fault. That's a lot of our fault. And I'm gonna go straight to black men. Too many black men make them feel okay.
Yes.
They accept it. Too many black women accept it. They make it okay. It is never okay. And so, and then for them to say, oh, we fought for BLM. So what you're saying is every black person is part of BLM. We're a monolith, but we're supposed to see you as individuals. Every fucking race that has a problem with black people sees us as a monolith. Yet every last one of them demand to be seen as individuals. It don't work like that. It don't work like that.
I want to go to Miss Janine real quick with what she said, because I was thinking about this today with the N-word. That is the problem, because I hate to see black teenagers allowing their white or Latino friends to say it to them.
Yeah.
And I feel like those Latino and white parents are living vicariously through their children, because they wouldn't say that to another adult. Now, my daughter does, I'm like Paul Mooney with it. My daughter, she's different than me. And it's not that she doesn't feel like it should be said. She just doesn't say it because it's just not who she is. But I always taught her that if somebody who is non-black says that to you or around you, you check them immediately.
Let me tell you
give
something.
them the opportunity to feel.
I can't wait to get off of this filming, because right before I got on, my daughter went to the Puerto Rican Day Parade, right? And she got some friends that's Puerto Rican. In one of the videos she posted, one of her Puerto Rican friends, yeah, nigga, what? So I can't wait to get off of here, because I'm finna call. I don't play that shit. My daughter know I don't. However, I understand that this generation thinks differently, but it is never okay. Nope. And me and my daughter have this talk all the time. If these are your true friends, if these are the people that you would lay your life, these are the people you chose. So if you're making them think it's okay, you've made them far too comfortable.
Yeah.
And you want to know the other thing that they harped on something regarding and I'm sorry, I'm talking to y'all and doing this and writing notes and then getting the videos up. So if y'all see me looking around, it's because I'm trying to make sure the show
we can't even see you at all.
It's a lot of work.
it's behind the scenes. We're gonna edit anyways. You're gonna edit anyways.
Yeah. But it's they spoke about she spoke about something regarding no, it was him. He said something about being at work and how they tried to get the white. I remember this was a long time ago. This was my first experience really with working with Latin people, but it's more Hispanic, Mexicans. And I was working at McDonald's in Kansas City. It was on 7th Street. It was one of the most popular McDonald's. It was an after-school job. I was able to, buy my own stuff. I've been working since I was 12 years old. So I've always been, I've always like working and making my own money and having something. And I remember we were there, and it was pretty diverse. Of course, the white managers was, the managers there, but and they had a light skinned manager there, and then they had Mexicans. They was in the front and somewhere in the back, but they couldn't speak English very well. So they took them the drive-through. They took them from the front counter, put them back there where the food was. Okay, fine. They put them back to where the food was. Well, the black guy, it was 2 black guys that was working back there. When I tell you those black guys, we call them the tanks in fast food. They come to work, they don't say nothing, they flip them burgers, and that meat is moving, it's going out. Boom, boom, boom. So that's why that was the most popular, because it was around the business district, and the line just moved, but people were just moving out. Well, eventually we started noticing the shift with the Latins, the Hispanics, and they started every time there was something that was going on, they would say, "Oh, well, first we've seen it from the managers. The manager would say, "Oh, well, we found out that you came in a minute late, or we found
Oh,
out that you took an
wow.
extra break, or we found out that you took a cup, and it wasn't a cup you had paid for, or whatever." And I'm just like, this was just me. And when I started talking to other Black people, what's happening to them as well. I said, "Well, the cup that we're supposed to take is a medium-sized cup. I paid for a
Right.
large cup. You can see my receipt." Oh, okay. And then with the guys in the food, they would say, "Oh, well, they're not they're cooking the patties too long." I said, "These men been working here for 2, 3 years, way before y'all had all these damn Latin people here. Now all of a sudden they're cooking the patties too long. People are seeing them do it incorrectly. They're putting patties in the wrong place." I said, and it was because the Hispanic people there, the Mexicans, was sitting there going to the managers. It took the Black lady who was, because she was light skinned. They thought she was like Latin as well because she looked Latin. It took her to say something. And she finally said something to us. She says, she huddled us because she says, y'all, I don't want y'all to say nothing. Y'all don't say nothing. It's these
Right.
motherfucking Mexican people right here that's sitting here going back to the managers, going to Ignacio, because I remember him. His name was Ignacio. Going to Ignacio, going to the white manager, and they're going back telling him everything that y'all do. And even if it's not true, they will say, "Oh, well, we've seen this," and they will make a big deal of it. And soon enough,
Yeah.
the black dudes, they got tired of that shit. They left. They went working to work at Sonics, and then they always started seeing this Mexicans coming in, Mexicans coming in, Mexicans. I said, "What the fuck?" And eventually, the whole back area was nothing but Mexicans. Then they tried to put the little Mexicans in the front. They was targeting the white girl, and they was saying that she wasn't doing things correctly. There was always issues going on. She had arguing with customers. This was the most timid white girl ever. I said, She don't argue with nobody." And I said,
Right.
who is saying this? The fucking Mexican people. And I said, "You know what's funny about this? You guys come to this country, you can't even speak English, you're coming over illegally, but y'all want people to march for your asses. But then when it comes for unity or something, y'all sitting here telling on people, making up
Come
fucking
on.
stories to keep a job." That shit
Come
was
on.
pissing me off so much. And I told him, I said, "You know what? I'm done. Y'all can keep this." Because I said, "I don't have to work here for the rest of my life. Y'all asses have to work here for $7.25 for the rest of your life." So they could sit here and stay. And then we also noticed that they were also paying the Mexicans more. One of them left
Yeah.
their checks up there. And everybody there was supposed to, like, the front people in the front were supposed to make 7.25. The people in the back 8.25, and then there was like a supervisor, they made 10. When I tell you that the Mexican people was making $9 an hour, while all the blacks and one white person 7.25, $7. And then when we get our raises, everybody's supposed to get a 25-cent raise. They was only giving it to the Mexican people, and then the blacks was getting 15%, and the white girl got 20%. I mean, 20
Wow.
cents. I'm
But
like,
see,
are y'all serious? It was the shit that we were going through, and that's why I'm like, they're hearing what my uncle used to say when he was in prison. They liked it in prison. They like that at work. They like that out of work, but they want people to march for them and their rights. But you don't fucking like us.
Come
Make it make
on.
sense.
Look, I
can't go
used
back
to
to what either.
when I was in between jobs, I used to work at this one place, and I can't say the name of the place because funnily enough, I got some business with them now. But I
Mm.
used to work at this place. It was predominantly Mexican, but it was enough black people there. I got hired, and like I said, a lot of people get comfortable with me of the white and Mexican Latin persuasion until they realize I'm none of those things. So, well, mixed anyway, but not with that. So, I got the position. So it was a lot of, "You're not mixed, you're not mixed, you're not, no, you speak Spanish." No, no, no. It was a woman there who she wasn't a supervisor, but she was like right up under a supervisor, a Mexican lady. She wanted her sister. I got the job over her sister. She didn't like that. So her and her little buddies used to pull used to try to
Mm.
fuck with me doing little shit. You know
Petty.
what I'm saying? But I'm the type of you can't get me with that. You can't get me with that. You know what I'm saying? And they kept trying, and I did end up leaving, but not because of them, because like I said, I was in between jobs focusing on another career, and I got the job that I was after. Um, but they do that, and they do it so thoroughly, and they'll keep picking and keep picking. I'm getting called into the supervisor's office because somebody said something. "Y'all got videotapes on us. Run the tape." They come oh, well, she was never in that area. Why did you say that? So They are very sneaky.
Yeah.
Very fucking sneaky. They talk about unity, but will try to force you out of a job to get their people in, will hire over you, regardless if you're the most qualified. They can miss me with all that. Ain't no, it's unity when their life is on the line, when their freedom is on the line. Other than that, is they don't know the word. And like you said, they come here speaking, don't know a drop of fucking English, but they know how to say nigga.
But this go
Start
back.
talking about some money. Oh, me no comprende. You know, but as soon as they know that word nigga.
Maya was
Go
talking.
back to I don't know if it was Janine or Nikki that said it, but they really see us as less than them, no matter on what
Yeah.
level, whether it's at a job, whether just in society as a whole. They see us as less than. That's why they get on these jobs and they get in cahoots to get all their family in and get us out.
Yeah.
They don't care
Yeah.
about us. They don't care how we survive. But then y'all want us
Yeah.
to go on the front line for y'all. You want me to go on the front line for y'all, but you just cost me my job. You want me
Yeah.
to go on the front line for y'all, but I just got this little translator off the TikTok shop and I take it with me everywhere now. And now I know what the hell you saying when I'm by you. But you want me to get on the front line and march with you. No, thank you. I empathize with
Come
you. I
on.
understand what you're going through, but this is not my fight. And I shall stay in my house unbothered.
But and it just reminded me what you just said, Mike. The one guy, though, the guys who were talking about they won't sign black people. That's wild to me. You will appropriate our music, our style, our culture. You'll take that and use it, but you don't want to hire black. You don't want to sign black people to their own fucking culture. Pick you up some fucking mariachis and some drums. Why and then don't sign people. That would make sense. But to appropriate our music that we created, our culture, and then say you don't want to bring black, that would be like me opening a Mexican restaurant and saying I'm not hiring no Mexicans. You sound insane. You sound insane.
To go back to the work, I saw 2 videos. Well, one, and because the Mexicans, they're and Latinos too, but mostly, the Mexicans have been, calling for our support because the Cubans, they still think they don't like the Mexicans, so they're not in like siding, they're not demanding black people be out there.
Just like Caucasian people.
Yeah,
Just
so
like how they didn't like each
Yep.
other. Oh,
yeah.
go ahead. I'm
So
sorry.
in the video, it was a African man, and he owned a construction site, and he was talking about how the Latino people were telling him, an African, pure African, to get rid of the African Americans so that the Latino people can be, because we're more like you. They're not like us. African Americans are not like us, but you as an African are more like us Latinos. So you need to get rid of them and hire. And he was like, this is my company. You're telling me, an African man, I own this company, and you're telling me to get rid of people that look like me for you. Then I saw another video because they love bringing up Black Lives Matter. Like, that's the only movement that black people have ever done. You're not talking about civil rights. You're not talking about Jim Crow era, how you've helped and things like that. So I saw, I was on a live. I saw a live last night, and one of the people I followed, Nene, she played a video of these people from the 70s talking about how Mexican people bombed them, got them out of the neighborhood, ran them because they said one woman moved to East LA, not knowing what that was because she came from the South and she had to leave. Like they bombed people out of their homes because they didn't want black people in their neighborhoods. Mm-hmm. They're not talking about that shit. They're only talking about, we were there for Black Lives Matter, and they're saying that it's that black people, y'all are making your allyship and everything transactional. No, you're making it transactional by bringing up that you were there for Black Lives Matter, because that's the only thing you can bring up. And if black people did make it transactional, we have every right to make it transactional because we've been on the front lines of not only our movements, but the movements of everybody the fuck else as well. And you still didn't do anything. So we have every right to make this shit transactional because y'all got to catch the fuck up. We don't.
And you want to know one thing that gets me? I ate somebody up the other day, and I had so many likes, and I had so many people cussing me out when I responded to it. I said, do y'all understand everybody talk about y'all want to play tit for tat on everything, right? Let's play tit for tat. I said, do y'all know y'all second president of fucking Mexico was black? And
And
without
they murdered him.
murdered him. And I said, without him, you fuckers would still be owned by Spain. He's the reason why Spain don't own your asses right now.
They begged Haiti to help them free them from the Spaniards, and and brought him into office and murdered him.
And then it was not just that. Even with the French, because the French still own parts of, everybody keeps forgetting how power they was. I said, even the French, this is around 1858, I believe, when they were trying to get away from the French. Well, this was after the Civil War and all that stuff was going on. What happened is the black people came from the South and helped their asses to get out of there.
Yes.
And now the French is not there no more. So that's why when I tell people, I said, black people owe you nobody on this earth a fucking thing.
But then the new talking point is Mexico was the first one to free slaves. No, bitch, that would be Haiti.
Yes.
That would be Haiti. Like, let's be so fucking for real.
They gonna rewrite shit to the motherfucking death.
Just like white people. Rewrite history to fit a narrative. Like, come on now.
Like Cinco de Mayo is not even just for them because we fought with them that day.
Come on. Did.
Oh, but they want Juneteenth. They're colonizing. They're trying to colonize Juneteenth now.
My job already colonizing it. You know they not paying me to the 20th. Talking about some in observation of Juneteenth. We have to push your check to the bitch. You pay me on the 18th. Then the fuck wrong with y'all?
Now that's just crazy.
And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play some more videos of this topic, and then we're gonna end this topic and go to another one. Okay? But this one was good because I was happy that somebody Cuban was able to fucking break it down for people and let them know. And she's been getting a lot of love on here, and people been like,
yeah, but that when you watch the video, that bitch in the orange over there, she ain't 100%.
Oh, she's not 100%. Well, you know how she is. Her ass is want to be white so bad until the white folks tell your ass, you're not white, bitch.
Well, I could tell she was gonna be an op the way she was dressed.
Oh yeah.
I've never seen this. I missed this one.
Que nos va a sacar de este hueco se llaman los negros americanos.
What she called me?
African American community is the only community that has the power in this country to change anything. They are the only one with the experience of civil matter. They are the only one que tenían el esclavo ahí mismitico. They are the only one that are not gonna get deported anywhere, and you cannot put them all in jail. So African American community, which is the community that is stepped on by Cubans, the most are the only ones that are going to save the Latinos. And I clap for the African American community that has not come out because it is not. I do. We didn't do shit.
I get it.
Masses,
but I don't.
Me and you support, but in masses, we didn't support anything that was going with them. Latinos look at Cubans specifically. I'm not gonna talk about any other community because I'm not part of that community, even though I'm a Latina with them. Cubans talk shit about African Americans. Cubans did not support African Americans. Cubans think that they all victimize themselves, of this, all of that. African Americans are the only ones that are going to save your ass as Latinos. So you better start kissing. If you're gonna kiss some ass in this country, you better kiss some black community.
And let me play another one real quick.
Take what they envy. Identity is just another lie we tell ourselves to feel safer in a system that was never built for us. Survival ain't the reason they don't side with us. It's preference. Think about it. In prisons, they don't roll with us. On the job sites, they don't hire us. In their homes, they don't want us dating their daughters. And in the courtroom, they often vote for policies against us. But my people want to cling to the few who march, like it erases the ones who mock. And before you say that's not all of them, ask one of your Mexican partners what mejora la raza means. It means to improve the race. But how? By whitening it. By erasing blackness. Go on and sit with that for a minute. They dance to our music. They talk like us. They move into our neighborhoods. And we let them. Then they gatekeep jobs, culture, and even respect. And we let them. This ain't about racism, man. It's about rivalry. Because nobody imitates what they pity. They imitate what they envy. And deep down, they know what we got can't be copied. So maybe it ain't hate. Maybe it's hidden competition. Maybe it ain't ignorance. Maybe it's inherited bias. Or maybe blacks was never meant to look for allies. Just remember who we are. I love my people. I hope y'all safe out there, and I hope you get home safe. And y'all.
And look at that comment immediately right next to him.
What did it say?
It was saying how Mexico, he's wrong. Like he sounds like Harriet Tubman, and it's wrong that Mexicans freed the black slaves when they got there. All this type of
please.
They cannot help. One thing they are morphing into white people. The fucking pseudo superiority complex is fucking psychosis at this point because they're demanding our help while insulting us at the same fucking time.
It's weird.
And who does that? White people.
I mean, I said it earlier, they the same way the different Hispanic groups within the Latino community don't like each other. It's the same way the Caucasians didn't like each other. How and Italians and how they all didn't like each other. It's the same way in the Hispanic community. But the people that they feel are less than them all the time, no matter what, is black people.
Yeah.
And the crazy part is with the white didn't like each other. They had a problem until they was able to get access to whiteness. Then all of a sudden it was okay. When the Italians, they got treated like shit. But when they started to assimilate into the white community and be seen as white, then everything was fucking K. Same thing with Irish people. Y'all were seen differently, but once y'all started assimilating into that whiteness and you got accepted, then all of a sudden everything white was all right.
But you know what? Here's my thing. Let's say that every black person decides, yes, let's go out there and unite and fight. Let's say we all do that. What then? When it's all over and the dust settles, what then? Are we going to go marching off hand in hand? Are you not going to say the N-word anymore? Are you going to curb your anti-blackness? Because the fact of the matter is, even in the midst of demanding our black bodies, they still can't curb their racism. They still can't even pretend not to be anti-black. And that's the part that gets me. What happens if we all run out there and fight with you? Then what? Then what? Because they've yet to still hold their own community accountable. Very few, some are doing it, but the majority of them are not. They will never hold white people accountable because at the end of all of this, and I'm going to answer my own question. At the end of all of this, even if we all work out there and help them, guess what? They're still going to choose whiteness. They're still going to choose proximity because this is what has been bred into them. You will not get the use of this beautiful black body. Okay? I don't have a man and I let 50 men run up in here and abuse this black body before I put it on the front line for anybody that would turn around and call me the N-word. So what happens then? Miss me with all of that.
All right. So now what we about to do is we about to go into some good old racism stuff going on. You know, white folks got to get their turn too.
Fuck around and find out.
You know, they gotta be on there. So we're gonna watch this video. Actually, we're gonna watch 3 videos in a row.
Oh yeah, this one. Oh.
The other white man say, I don't want to smoke.
What did he tell him at the end? I love you, man.
He beat the racism out that motherfucker. I love you, man.
Hold on, it's the
I don't know
caption.
about
Malik,
y'all,
make
but
you love me
this
Jenkins.
just it
Go.
warms my heart. This just warms my heart on every level.
Woo.
What?
Hey, he knocked that white man out his fucking shoes.
Baby, if this was a cartoon, we'd see them little birds and stars going around the field.
Wait, y'all peep the white man, the other white man in the background. He like, hey, I don't even want to smoke.
That ain't my brother. I don't know that man.
Okay, here's the next one.
To the 50 Afrikaners who fled to the US, calling themselves refugees. You are not refugees. You are just a case study of white flight dressed up as martyrdom. You're not escaping violence. You're escaping equality. South Africa didn't chase you away. You ran. Yes, South Africa is one of the most violent countries in the world. Yes, brutality exists. But let's be honest, violence affects all communities, not just white farmers. Black, colored, Indian, and yes, white people are all targets of a national crime crisis. What we have is a breakdown in safety, not a white genocide. This is not ethnic cleansing, it's criminal collapse, and running to the US won't fix it. You are part of a 7% minority, but somehow still manages to control over 70% of the wealth. That is not persecution, that's privilege on a guilt trip. And let's be real, if we tried to relocate just half of the Afrikaans population, it would take decades, billions in logistics, and you'd still end up culturally homeless in a country that don't want your apartheid baggage. You're not brave, you're not victims. You're scared of a world where you don't get to be in charge, and that makes the rest of the Afrikaans community cringe because you make us look weak. South Africa is broken, and it's our problem to solve. So if you don't have the spine to do so, stay gone. To the fifth.
And then I'll play one more. And then we'll begin.
You know what's funny about white men saying stuff like this is that they would be the first to know since they love BBC more than anybody. I've had white men literally message me when I was doing OnlyFans with my ex, begging if they could suck his thing. And I've had white men say, oh, so what is it about BBC? Like they are obsessed with it. Like I've already told you guys, most men are bisexual and homosexual. And black men since slavery have been exploited as sexual objects. And this goes all the way back to white people cutting off their penises and keeping it at their house like souvenirs. So black men are extremely sexually abused and exploited and treated as sexual objects. And it's almost intentional that they created a lot of porn with a lot of white women and black men. And white men are very sexually attracted to black men, as we know, since slavery. And the white man has turned the black man into a sexual object or sex symbol because white men love them some BBC. So if anybody knows about BBC, it's white men. Because
yes, indeed,
the romantic energy goes crazy because it's like white men are insecure about their things if it's not, even though there's white men with big ones, there's black men with small ones, it's whatever. But again, white supremacy has over-sexualized the black man and exploited his penis and turned the black man into an object, which explains a whole lot of behaviors on that end and why society is the way it is. But that's a whole other situation.
So what do y'all think of these three videos?
I just, you know what, that last one, let me tell you, she is not lying. I used to date this white guy, right? And this is what made me end it. One day we were just chilling, right? And he brought that conversation up. Is it true that black men, da-da-da? And then he went into comparing his size and how does it feel different? Da-da. Babe, when I said I couldn't get out that house fast enough because I felt like if I didn't run or if I didn't say the right thing, I was going to end up on a milk carton. But it is so true. It is so true. It is so true. He was obsessed, would not let the conversation die. And I'm not saying they all are because I haven't talked to all white men. But from what I experienced in that conversation, like, do you want it? Do you want me to call one that's gay and haven't been you all? What are you asking me? It's insane. But as far as the South African thing, yes, indeed, baby. And now those people, and here's the funniest part of this. The funniest part is they came under here on refugee status. And they're stuck in these hotels in Montana. No food, no cell phone, no job, no nothing. Miserable on Facebook begging. The funniest part of that is they cannot return now. They cannot return. So good luck. You thought you were running, you didn't want to be something like that Afrikaner, the white Afrikaner said. They weren't running from persecution. There is no fucking genocide. You know what I'm saying? They were afraid because the country that their ancestors colonized, they thought they still you own nothing there. If I steal a watch from you 20 years ago and today I still have that watch, it is still your fucking watch. That there is no such thing as a white South Afrikaner. There's only descendants of colonizers, enslavers, and murderers.
I agree. They're pawns for Trump. He promised them all this shit because they're racist and they think they're better than the black Africans that are there in their country. They thought they could come over here and have their status, and now they're being treated like black people. Now they have to beg for things. Now they don't have the resources. Now they don't, and now they get to see, oh, America isn't the greatest country. Oh, white people aren't treated like, not all white people are, even white people are created equal. I was saying how if MAGA got paid for every time they move the goalposts, they wouldn't be poor white trash. They would just be white trash because they move the post every single time. And they're seeing it now. You brought your ass over here because you thought you was going to get the royal fucking treatment. And now you see that they don't. This man,
girl, he promised them a home, jobs, land. They didn't get none of that.
Nothing. And now they're sitting there just like when Trump deployed the National Guard and stuff. You didn't pay them. You didn't have no place for them to stay. You didn't have no food to give them. Nothing. The man does not care. And I don't know how long he has to continue to do this to white people and Latino people for them to finally see he does not care. He has one agenda, which is to make it white. When he said make America great again, I knew exactly what he meant when he said it. Because when has America been great? When was America the last time great for white people? Because it ain't never been great for nobody else. When was the last time it was great? That was pre-civil rights. Because as a white man, you could do whatever you wanted to white women, to black men and women, to any other marginalized group, and nothing would be done. There would be no consequences. So when he said make America great again, I fucking knew from the first time it came out his mouth, that's what the fuck he meant. And if you are white and voted for him, you knew what the fuck he meant too. And that's why you voted for him. Because that's how you want it to be. You want it to go back to a time where you can fucking murder us because it's fucking Tuesday and nothing is going to happen. That is what you want. That is exactly what you want. That white woman, I don't condone domestic violence, but she deserved to get her shit rocked. And that man deserved to get his shit rocked. Because he said nigga. He didn't say E. I don't think he said ER. He said it with the A. He said it. But God, I couldn't tell if it was the A or the ER.
It wasn't a hard ER. But he did say, I'll kill you, nigga.
Yeah. So I'll kill you.
ER.
No, he said A. And then proceeded to get his shit rocked to the point where he had to say, I love you. Y'all talk. See, I know that how I know that white people and Latino people, especially the ones that say nigga, they don't say it to us directly because their head is still connected to their fucking shoulders. That's how I know they only say it amongst their own self and not directly to black people of a certain age because they, like I said, their head is still attached to their fucking shoulders.
Or they only say it to the black people that'll sit up and allow and make them think that shit is okay.
And so I need y'all to go ahead and keep saying it. Run into the black person that don't play that shit. Because it was a woman, I think her name is the Cheetah Boral or whatever the fuck. And she's a Cuban in Miami. And she made a video that she since deleted talking about how she says nigga all the time and it's common. Well, bitch, if it's so motherfucking common, one, why you took the video down? Two, you don't say it to black women and you don't say it to the only black people you say it to are black men that allow you to say it to them. Because you goddamn sure ain't saying that to no black woman face. which is why you took the fucking video down. Because I was trying to find a video so I could cordially invite her ass to meet up with me somewhere so she could.
But you know, everybody tough online. It's cute. Everybody tough online.
But since I'm in Miami too, I'm in Miami. Let's meet in a public place, and I want you to say that shit directly to my motherfucking face. But she deleted the fucking video because she knew fucking better. You don't say that shit on a regular basis. You say that shit on a regular basis to your people. You don't say that on a regular basis to us. Y'all talk real tough online until you say that shit in our face, live and fucking direct, and you get knocked the fuck out. Like that man got the racism knocked the fuck out of him in less than 30 seconds. Cause he went from I'll fuck y'all, kill you niggas, I love you, man. I ain't never seen a switch.
That was a quick.
He thought he was the slave for a minute.
Exactly.
Right, you had something to say?
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say to that video, they deserved it. Like she said, say it to somebody outside of the people that you cool with. To the Afrikaners, I just want to say this is where racism get y'all left because, like the boy said in the second video, was it the second or third video? Whichever video.
Second one.
He said that y'all left because y'all pretty much wasn't in charge. So y'all came over here thinking that y'all was going to be superior, and now pretty much y'all got shit in y'all face. That is where racism gets you, and that's where that's what's going to happen to you every single time.
Racism is expensive.
It's very
when you are racism makes it's expensive when you are already poor.
You know what gets me? There's nothing worse, and I said this before and I say it again, and people always get upset at me. I said there's nothing worse when you have, and I'll just use a black woman and a Latin woman for example, two people I used to know in the past I used to work with. They was at the company 15 and 20 years respectively. I think one was 17, 20 years, but it was around this time. So I said 15 to 20 years. They knew all the systems. They knew all the codes. They knew all the accounts that they have. They knew all the sales representatives at the other companies. Everything. Everybody thought they were shoo-ins for this director position. They go hire some white dude who was a supervisor at I don't even know, it was some type of construction company. It wasn't even what we do in medical. It was at a construction company. Hired him to be the director, told him, they was like, oh, we want you to train him up. And they said, how? Does he have any medical experience? Does he have any experience with these accounts? He had absolute zero experience. When I tell you that white boy was in there puffing his shoulders up and, you do this and I said, mediocrity. And I'm sick of that word mediocre, below average. Because I said, there are so many white folks I work with that don't know how to do their job, don't know anything about their job duties. And the black woman and the Latin woman have to sit there and teach their ass it.
Well, that's because it's all about optics. It's all about who you know. They don't give a fuck about us getting a better position. I'd have been passed over for plenty positions that I know I'm overqualified for and that I should be doing. But yet they hire their little cousin or their friend's daughter or their buddy that they play golf with granddaughter or some shit like that. They're going to always put their people in position. And that's what I need for our people to start doing. We need to stop getting all in our heads and all big headed when we get in these higher positions.
Yep.
And put our people into position.
Another thing about that, and I was going to say this, somebody had posted, and I wish I could find a video. I couldn't find it today, but they were talking about how, what are the current entertainers doing? Don't get me wrong. I'm happy Michael Jordan got his shoe deals and everything and became successful. I'm happy that Beyonce got her, she's one of the legends of the current day and whatever. I'm happy that Magic Johnson, but Magic Johnson is different from those two. And this is why I will tell you why. Magic Johnson got theaters and food, and he's hiring black people to be in these positions. We don't have an engineer firm. We don't have a medical or clinical research firm. We don't have architects and construction firms. It's all we have is shaking our asses and dancing and performing or entertaining them. I said we need to own shit. We don't own hotels and we don't own stuff like that. It's always to service other people. And I said,
speaking of hotels, do you remember that black guy that tried to build that hotel? And they went in there and stole all his white people. They went in and stole all the copper out of the entire building and then tried to set it on fire, tried to burn it down.
Just wicked. I tell people people was like, oh, they're taught this. I said, it's in their DNA. Y'all forgetting, just a small history lesson. These fuckers came from Europe. Now, if you look at Europe on the map, and I'm going to just, you know what, I like to do visuals so people can kind of see map of the world. So people can kind of see, like, you know, how everything kind of transpired with, you know, these people in general. So I'm just going to share this with you guys because people keep forgetting where white folks come from. So this little part right here, Spain and Germany, well, they're actually Spanish. So France, Germany, Poland, all this stuff, all these places right here in this little area right here, war torn since the BC times. Famine, disease, pestilence, murdering. They created some of the worst torture devices in history. This is where germ warfare comes from. Everybody keep forgetting, like, you know, oh, how did they know how to give smallpox to the Native Americans? I said because they were already testing it on themselves. You're forgetting how Ireland was the bastards of Europe at the time. The Scots didn't like them. The British didn't like them. So what they started doing when they had all the wars and the plague and because it was filthy, not cleaning themselves, like they always like to blame other people for what's going on with them. I said, y'all gonna blame a flea for you guys throwing shit and poop and piss out your windows. Y'all tracking it in your dresses and stuff. Y'all had bad sanitation. Y'all don't wash your ass. You don't want to wash it now because I see the YouTube videos. Chesley Handler just had a YouTube video talking about how they don't wash their legs, they don't wash their feet, they don't wash their back. I said, y'all still practicing the same unsanitary practices that your asses was practicing back then. So then y'all hop your asses over here to America. Y'all sit here. This was owned by Mexico, owned part of this, and then there was the Native Americans, and people keep forgetting there was black Indians and black people over here as well. The Seminoles and the Choctaw, they were over here, and then y'all sat here. Y'all brought all that over here, massacred, pillaged, raped, stole, etc. Then y'all hopped your asses to Brazil, colonized, raped, pillaged, stole, murdered. Then y'all, everybody keeps forgetting about what happened in India. They expanded over in India. That's the whole thing with Gandhi. I said, y'all got to understand the British Empire went over there, did the same thing that they did in the United States and did to Brazil. Then they did the same shit in China. Before China is what it is today, the British Empire was already over there. I said, then people keep forgetting how Australia got kind of got a start now. The British Empire, UK, Great Britain, whatever you want to call the damn thing, what they did was they sent their worst criminals, their thieves, their murderers, their liars, all these people over there. Took these people over there and they sent them to Australia. It was supposed to be for them to serve their prison sentence. But what they did, those people, they sent their worst over there, and those worst over there massacred the Aboriginals. You can hardly find an Aboriginal over there. And then they making laws now to where the people that was there can't even own land over there no more. I said, so when you look at this as a whole, I don't, you know, they always say they came from the Caucasus Mountains or whatever mountains. I said, whatever mountain it was, they should have shielded that bitch up and they shouldn't have let none of their asses out. Because ever since they have expanded, they've been terrorizing the world ever since. And this is what we got right here.
I wanted to say, as far to me, white people are inherently racist. Particularly white people in this country, you're inherently racist, inferior, and mediocre. And you have to work actively to not be those things. And white supremacy was created to uphold that racism, that inferiority, and that mediocrity. And white privilege was designed to ensure that they will continue to benefit from the racism, the inferiority, and the mediocrity, which is why they don't want to let it go. Because it ensures that they benefit from those things. Because anytime they are put in a position where they have to naturally prove that they're worthy of a position or anything else, whether it's sports, work, whatever, they got to move the goalposts because they know they can't compete with black people. They know they can't compete with people of color, but specifically black people, which is why they get jobs based on the color of their skin and people who they know who also have the same white skin.
The original.
That's why they need those in place. And that's why they need that, because they know they
the OG DEI hires.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what? We're going to talk about this for a little bit, and then we're going to go to the next topic. But remember, I was telling you about small towns and shit, and telling y'all how they be imagining shit. He hit on. I said this last week. I said they be imagining shit that don't even exist, and he just finally hit it on the head. And I was finally happy that somebody put it out there.
So funny meeting actual racists in a small town because, like, it doesn't make any sense. Because, like, bro, those groups you hate, none of them's here. You've never met one. I know a guy one time, he said, I don't trust black people. I said, name one. And he went, nah, Obama? Kids around here like, Jews run the world. I'm like, I know they don't run our town of 1,300 people. Your uncle does. That's how you keep getting out of them DUIs. Like, bro, my town was tied in 2008 for the whitest county in the nation. We are 99% white. If the local Mexican restaurant closes down, that goes back up to 100. Like, the last time any of us saw an Asian, a black person, and a native in the same spot, it was on the cover of a 4th grade social studies textbook. Like, I've never met a black person. They seem cool. You're like, we gotta get rid of them immigrants. I'm like, bro, do you know how hard it is for me to find a white person that's not on drugs to do any work at all?
Come on now.
2 guys, and both of them's on disabilities. I gotta pay them under the table. It's a whole big to do. I hear people around here like, them immigrants are taking our jobs. I'm like, you've never had a job. You've never wanted a job. I've known you my whole life, Johnny. Your parents put you up to jumping off the monkey bars when we were in 3rd grade and faking a back injury to get perks. You've been on disability ever since. No one in your whole family's had a job, ever. Nobody taking your job. It's so funny meeting actual racists in a small town because, like, it doesn't make any sense. Because, like, bro, those groups you hate, none of them's here. You've never met one. I know a guy one time, he said, I don't trust black people. I said, name one.
So what do y'all think of that?
He's absolutely right. Here's the thing. It's media. The media and it's inherent in them, but it's media because that's all they're seeing. They're not seeing anything in real life. They're not seeing any of us in real life. So media has them convinced. Their parents have them convinced. Their parents had their parents convinced. Like, it just goes on and on and on. And the fact of the matter is, how the actual fuckity fuck are you gonna be poor and racist? Baby, pick a struggle. Cause you got too much going on. You got too much, and now they want to boycott Walmart. Baby, let me tell you something. Where else y'all gonna shop in these back alley, backwoods ass, 200 population ass towns? Where else you Piggly Wiggly? Where else are you gonna shop? You want child, please. That's it. I don't even. He hit the nail on the head. Everything. He said it all.
He definitely hit the nail on the head because I made a post a while ago and I was like, for the racist Caucasian people who don't like black people, name to me more than, if you can name it more than one on your hand, how many times you had a negative encounter with black people. I'll understand your hatred for us. They could not name. They was like, yeah, I just had one last week. I'm just like, okay, so what was the interaction? What did we do to you? Every black person.
And they did that. They started making up lies.
And we hit you. Like, what have we actually done to you for you to dislike us? They can't name anything because it all comes from media. The media puts out this false narrative that we create the most that we commit the most crimes, that we are the most violent people, that we do just everything wrong. And it's just like, no, the truth of the matter is, if you stop watching the news and pay attention to the crime that you see that it don't really come from us unless you in the hood. Yeah, hood crime gonna come from us because it's what they consider black on black crime. But black on black crime was another media propaganda because where's the white on white crime? Where's the Hispanic on Hispanic crime? Where's the Asian on Asian crime? There is none. Y'all be making shit up to make us look bad.
There are whole entire channels and networks designed specifically for white on white crime. What the fuck is Dateline? What the fuck is Snapped? Y'all literally have white on white crime and you don't want to talk about it. That's the same narrative as them always calling black women welfare queens. Or their first dig at me whenever they want to be racist is, oh, go get a job. Go get off welfare. Get off welfare.
Get off welfare.
But this is, and then it's like, first of all, I haven't had government assistance in 2 fucking decades. Now, but that's neither here nor there, even if I was on it. The biggest receivers and abusers of the welfare system are fucking white people.
Yeah.
And they know that, but they want to act like they don't because it doesn't fit their racist narrative. They got Google is fucking free, even though they can't read. I always say turn the accessibility settings on and the bitch will read it for you. But you know, they don't. You know,
but here's the thing: we aren't telling them anything that they don't know.
No, yeah.
You have to keep in perspective. Since they genetically mutated 6,000 plus years ago, everything has been lies, deception, war, suffering. So, do we expect them to be honest now? No, everything that they do, there's not one thing throughout history. Nobody can name one thing that they've achieved or gained control of or created that they've done through their own merit and hard work. Nothing.
Well, except
Nothing.
they created the
So,
word
do we
nigger.
expect them to go and Google the truth? They know the truth.
They do.
They know the truth. But ignorance is bliss. As long as they can keep everyone that looks like them or that wants to be like them within this bubble of ignorance, they can keep spouting the same narrative. And that's why they don't want their children. They're trying to, dismantle the education. They're trying to do this, they're trying to do that. Because the truth is the truth. And their children over these past few years have learned the truth and have woken up. So now they're trying to prevent the next generation from doing so. When have they ever been honest about it? They know they're the most violent. They know that no child is safe around them in any country. They know that they commit the most theft. They know that they consume the most welfare. They know that they commit the most welfare fraud. But as long as they can continue to spin the narrative that it's not them, they will never Google. They will never pick up a book.
Well, I don't think they want to be intelligent because when you look at it,
they don't.
Somebody said that every accusation that a white person makes is a confession.
Is a confession.
Yep. Everything that Trump said, Kamala's going to get us in the war and we're going to be in a recession.
And look where we at.
He did everything that is on the thing. And, even when they talk about black on black crime, I just gave you a history lesson. I said, there's nothing worse than white on white crime. I said, when you guys do it, y'all decimate entire countries, entire continents. Look what's happening in Russia and Ukraine.
Yep.
You just literally start dropping bombs on hospitals, schools, everything.
Yep.
But when you talk about black on black crime, ask why
proximity crime.
Why is black on black crime a thing? Because look where you put Reagan dropped guns and crack with the intention that we was gonna cancel each other out. You put black people in positions to where they have to fight for their fucking survival. And if you have to fight for your survival, chances are you're going to fight the people that look like you because y'all all in the same space trying to get ahead. So it's when you say, and that's not excusing it, but you're the reason, white people are the reason why black on black crime exists. If you allowed us to have Black Wall Street and didn't decimate that and let us thrive in our own communities and have our own shit, we wouldn't have to go after each other. We wouldn't feel like caged people having to fight for survival amongst each other because we would be thriving amongst each other. Y'all want to focus on black crime, but you don't want to talk about white on white crime because white people are the most violent fucking people. White men commit the most crime and most violent crime ever. Slavery is the fucking most violent crime ever. So don't talk to me about black on black crime. That's always some misdirection ass shit. That's the equivalent of saying every time black people speak out, and I hear a non-black person say, even when a black person say it, I side eye. This is not a time for divisiveness. This is a time for unity. Fuck you. Because that's your way of telling black people to shut the fuck up. That's your way of telling black people shut up and fucking dribble.
And that's another thing. I get so tired of hearing, stop letting them divide us. Name one time in history. Name one time in history where we were ever united. You cannot divide that which was never united. You can't do it. So stop with trying to, don't let them divide us. Because just a minute ago, you were them. But now that you realize that you're not them, now it's don't let them divide us. Goodbye. Goodbye. Bon voyage, girl. You got 30 minutes.
What's funny about that? If you look at the votes, I tell everybody, you remember this what happened like a week or two ago when I said that the percentages, I said, I don't mess with, it's like a 70-30 split. I don't mess with 70% of white folks. The 30%, cool. I mean, I got white folks in my family. They cool, real, down-earth, good people. But that 70% is demonic. But then they was like, oh, well, when I looked at the polls, it was 60% of white folks that voted for Trump. I said, well, it's still that 70% there because that 10% that's missing, those are the ones that's like, oh, I'm not a racist. I'm so inclusive. But then they say things behind closed door. Or they're like, well, why can't I say the N-word? Or why? When I hear people say that, I'm like, I'm good on you. It was nice meeting you. Have a good day. Because those are the people right there that will say this in front of you, and they'll say a completely different thing behind closed doors.
Yeah. And I said, woke white liberals are
the
worst.
They're worse.
Because their racism, their unity comes with terms and conditions. They're okay with helping Black people as long as they dictate the terms in which they can help. They're okay with Black people joining like just when we called the shit out with Palestine, we called out the anti-Blackness. It was, we got to look at the bigger picture here. No, you didn't want to be called out. You want to help Black people, but you want to be in charge. Bless you. You want to be in charge of Black people.
Well,
you want to dictate
what you said before when you said they want us fighting for them and not with them.
With them, exactly, because that's what they want.
They want us to be put on the line. That's what it is. They want us to risk our lives, not making it home to our families. Because at the end of the day, like I want to say it was Janine said, what's going to happen if we do go out there and fight? What's going to happen is the Black people that's left after they finish taking our lives, they're going to go back to calling us N-words. They're going to go back to not wanting us to work with them. They're going to go back to us not wanting to live next to them. They're going to go back to the same way they acting before all of this. So that's another reason why we don't need to fight with them. Because they're going to go right back to how they was. They want us to fight for them and get on that front line and risk our lives and then just go back, oh, yeah, send that nigga home.
Mm-hmm. Me no Black, me Dominican. Asians.
I know Black.
even the Asians. Somebody was talking, they had a video and I was trying to find it, but the Asians was talking. They was like, why aren't y'all calling on the Asians?
Yeah.
The Asians are quiet as shit. Ain't said a peep.
And an Asian man came on here and basically was told his racism. He was like, yeah, we're not going to fight for you because we came here the right way. They're the ultimate model minority. They were the model minority before. They were the model minority.
But then went on to say that they're smarter. They're smarter. They're better. They're this and that. No, you're not. Because here's the thing. How quickly the Asian community forgets, you're not one of them either. And if you're so smart, how did you let that white man trick so many of y'all into joining that lawsuit to remove affirmative action from colleges? And your asses still didn't get in. You found out you wasn't qualified. You still didn't get in. So
they should be yelling at to join them is the Asians and the other minority groups. The other people of color is who they need to be calling on instead of calling on Black people. Because the truth of it is, we were always first. Hispanic people are next, and then y'all the ones who gonna be after. You think they're gonna be done the same way they trying to scare Black people and say, "Oh, y'all next"? No, Asian people, you don't think they're gonna try to get y'all out of here? Indian people, you don't think they're trying to get y'all out of here too? They going one by one, but they can't deport us because they forcefully brought some of us here, the ones that are not native.
Yep.
So they can't do nothing with us. That's why they coming after y'all. They can't get rid of us because they forcibly brought us here.
And you know
they better start calling on these woke white liberals.
And you know the whole thing that's going on with China right now. Lest Asians forget, in around 1850s and the 1940s. Well, so in the 1940s when Japan joined the Axis powers.
Yep.
Everybody's forgetting that the United States was like, oh, so the Asians want to get involved. They didn't care if you asked Chinese, Korean, Vietnam. Filipino,
everybody was getting.
They sent your ass to that concentration camp that they built in the 1940s. People forget that's why you see the reparations list that Asians got the reparations. It was because of they were put in concentration camps because of World War II. They joined the war, and they put them in, and then it also happened in 1850 when the United States had an issue with China again. It happened in the 1850s. I said, you guys are y'all always want to be white, but y'all not white. You're never going to be one of them. People are talking about advance the race. I say, do you understand Hitler in the 1930s was able to find your documents and find your entire lineage?
Yep.
We got Ancestry, 23andMe. They can go all the way. That's how they found the Pope. They can go all the way back. And it was like, oh, the Pope, his ancestry is black. They can go all the way back. So you can whiten up the race all you want. They're going to say, nope, you have some black in you. No, send his ass to the concentration camp. No, put his ass on that Pope. We're going to put him on the wall. Goodbye. But the people are so stupid. They don't see I'm like, y'all not understand that the same thing that's happening now. This is what I was going to tell y'all. Handmaid's Tale. Before we move on to the next topic. Oh my God. So Handmaid's Tale is pretty much everything that is like kind of happening right now. I gotta watch the show. Yeah, I thought it was gonna be like Game of Thrones at first, but I was like, so the show is good. It's really good. So this girl right here is the main character. So what happened is everything that's happening now is happening exactly like it happened in Handmaid's Tale. This show came out in 2017. So what they did, there was a political party that took over the United States. They changed it and called it Gilead. So it's no longer United States. It was because they kept talking about abortion and babies and people using pills and all that stuff to not have babies in the population. Well, what they did was because of the pills and everything, people weren't having babies or whatever. What they did, they took over the government and they put these women in these dresses. So these women are handmaids. So what they do is these women right here have to forcibly breed with these old mediocre looking ass white dudes on this show. They gotta breed with them, and it's forcibly they have to breed with them. And then what they did is they had these women right here, this lady right here, who was one of the main characters, the women have to hold down the handsmaid and watch the husband breed the handsmaid.
Oh my gosh.
Forcibly. I said this show is raw. It's raw. So she has to sit there and forcibly watch her her husband breed, but because she can't get pregnant. Then what they do is they take the kid away from her, the handsmaid. So they take him away from the handsmaid, and then now it's now considered they take it away from them, and now it's now considered that white woman's child. So now this white woman, here it is. So this white woman right here, they dress you, they color code you and everything. So now she no longer has a daughter. This white woman can now take it and name it as her daughter. And everything's so biblical. Oh, under his eye, and made the Lord open. And it is some creepy ass shit. And then they have this lady in the middle. If you don't conform to get forcibly bred by these white dudes, then she sits there and she'll take out your eye. She'll chop off a finger.
What?
Yes, I'm telling you, the show is insane.
I might have to get caught up on this because what is it in like season 6, 7 now?
Yeah, this is the final season. And what they do is Handmaid's Tale lips song at the Capitol. Hopefully I spelled that right. This is what they do to women that speak up. They sew your lips.
Oh wow.
Yes, so this is at the Capitol. So there's different factions of it, but this is exactly what's happening. Then what they're also doing is that what's interesting is that they talking about they want you to read the Bible and be all biblical, but then these men have brothels. So I'm like, okay, so I said this is how white folks do. Y'all create a scenario, y'all talk about Jesus and God and all this other stuff, but then y'all sit here and have a brothel on the side so y'all can have sex with the multiple women there.
Right.
I said you got to make it make sense. Either you're gonna go by Jesus' teachings or you're not.
But see,
okay, so
go back to
what's
what
the
I
black
said
woman's role?
ago.
I saw a black woman on the cast.
Yeah, so she's forcibly be bred. So what they did was the women, the colonies. So what they do is the women, any women, what they did is they went in people's medical records and they found out women that could possibly get pregnant. If your ass can't get pregnant, they send your ass to these colonies. And what they do is this is toxic waste, radiation, everything. They send you to there to die. You're a useless woman now. You can no longer produce or breed. You speak up if there's any lesbians, any lawyers, any college professors, anything. Anybody that spoke up and your ass can't get pregnant or whatever, you're sent to the colonies to die.
Wow.
They not playing.
Go back to what I said a while ago when I was saying because even though this, speaking of kind of like what we think they trying to head towards, is also what they used to do back in the day. I don't know if y'all remember me saying how Caucasian women was also a form of a slave because their body wasn't their own. Their dad, pretty much their dad owned them until they chose the husband for them. That's kind of like what this is like. And when Caucasian women, not when, because they haven't woken up and they're not going to wake up. But my thing is, you should wake up because shit like this shows you how they truly feel about you. You are nothing. Women are nothing to men. Not all men. Don't get offended. But women are nothing to men, especially Caucasian women. Y'all are nothing to these men. But yet y'all let these men dictate how y'all vote. Y'all let these men dictate who y'all can be friends with and what y'all can do with y'all life. And y'all don't see that y'all literally being mindful.
Yes, and what they also do is these women, and I'm telling you, the story is so damn good because this girl, what also was eye-opening for this show for me was that this white woman, she's the main character. Everybody here is acting their asses off. I said this is one of the best shows I've seen on TV in a long time. What she do is she ends up trying to trust this white woman and then trust the other guy that got her pregnant and everything. But what she's forgetting is that these are white folks. They do not want to lose their access to wealth and privilege and to live. So what happens is she finally got her baby out of there and they got to Canada. Canada's its own, as a different, they are all these other countries. So these other countries are not like Gilead. Gilead's like the new United States. And people are not trying to go to war, but at the same time, this Canada's like a sanctuary. It's always been like one of those sanctuary cities. Well, her baby ended up going there. Well, what she did was the white woman that helped her, that told her that she can take the baby there. Now she wants the baby back. And because she went to the Capitol and she's seen all these people living in wealth and prestige and their opulence and stuff. I said she kept forgetting. Her as a white woman should understand that. This woman was going to revert back to that. She want to have a baby of her own. She want to have prestige. She want to have wealth. And that's exactly, and she keeps forgetting that. And it keeps fucking her over in the show. They keep portraying her all the time. They end up hanging one of the black ladies. Actually, it was because another black girl in there was sitting there said, "Oh, I seen you talking to her, and we know that you're trying to get your daughter out of here." So then the black girl goes to the white woman. So you got those old coon ass mammy motherfuckers in there.
Oh my God!
And
see, this show gonna piss me off.
I'm telling you,
like glued.
The show is. I was like, Jesus Christ! It's such a good show. I was like,
I'm not gonna lie though, Chris. The only thing, the thing that kept me from watching this was immediately when the show came out, white women start wearing these fucking costumes, and they start everything is a fucking everything is a portrayal and an acting role for them. You know, so that's the one thing that kept me from watching it. But you know, hearing you explain it now, I am gonna binge watch this. Oh God, they took a whole.
They're not playing with you. They're not playing with you. And I tell you exactly how everything is happening now in the government. The people talking about white babies and abortion clinics, and they're targeting and putting you in jail is exactly how this is happening. Everything.
And is this happening in modern day?
Yeah. Yes, modern day.
And they got them like this. Okay.
They got like the.
Yeah, I think I am gonna be. I think you've convinced me.
Modern day, but they strip you of all the modern shit.
Because
you've been watching it, Maya.
I watched 2 episodes and it pissed me off, and I was like, I don't know if I can finish.
That's why I haven't. That's why I haven't, because I've wanted to watch it, but I just feel like it's gonna piss me off. And then seeing where we are now and what they're trying to do, it just makes it maybe even more scary. I'm gonna try to watch it, and from behind the scenes, the Elizabeth, I can't think of her last name, but I love the West Wing. That's why I know who she is, because she plays Zoe. The wild thing is that in real life, old girl is a Scientologist. The main character is in real life a fucking Scientologist. So it's just
so
like
she's stuck in real life.
Yeah, she's in real life.
So she acting her ass off, but it's like, you know, but I just thought that was some good behind the baseball. But I've been wanting to watch it, but I just feel like in some ways it can be triggering to Black women because of the slave-like aspect. But this right here needs to be, this is what these white women need to be need to watch this shit and not take it for a fucking joke. Like Miss Janine said, everything ain't a costume or an opportunity for you to fucking cosplay because this shit ain't fun. It's not funny. But this is where the Project 2025 is going. This is Christian nationalism in your fucking face. And once again, this came out in 2017. So they've been trying to warn you, white people and white women especially, that this is where shit is headed if you don't wake the fuck up.
Yep.
So I don't know. It was another show that was on Amazon. I can't think of the name of it, but it was a similar thing. It wasn't with pregnancy, but it was like it basically gave if we didn't win the war and if we became like Nazi Germany, but in America. And I didn't want to watch it because I felt like a little triggered by it. Because it's things like that. It's like, I couldn't even watch Idiocracy. I've never seen that movie. And I tried to watch it and I couldn't get through the first 30 minutes because even though it's a comedy, it felt like a horror movie. Because it's literally where we are headed with the dumbing down. Like MAGA is going to be our downfall. Because we're going to be fighting information with misinformation. Like we've been doing that, but it's getting worse. And AI is making it worse. Yes, I use AI for my creative shit, but I don't use it, for no propaganda. I use it for comedic purposes, but it's getting worse and worse to tell reality from not reality. And then we have to fight these stupid people because stupidity is taking the fuck over. And that's the dangerous game right there.
I want to speak on a little bit real quick about how people need to take these shows fucking seriously.
Yeah.
The government has a media budget. They have a cinema budget. And they make these movies in mind and they know a lot of people gonna be like, oh, it's just a movie. I'm not gonna take it serious. When actuality the shit is coming true. And a lot of people thought the Hunger Games was just a fucking movie series until now they trying to bring that shit to life with immigrants. Like
art imitates life. Art, they're literally telling you art is imitating life, or they're trying to make life imitate the art. That's what they're doing now. They're trying to make life imitate the art. They're, like Maya said, I agree. They're very calculated as to making these shows because they're giving you a preview of what the fuck is coming. That's all it is. It's them giving you a preview of what the fuck they got in store. Because white people need to reclaim that power. They want us back on that auction block so bad. They dick is hard. That's all it is. They want us back in them chains. They want us back in there, and they don't realize that you fucking with a dangerous game. Because
but you know what? I want to point out something too, because let's go back to 2016, Donald Trump. When all of the women's rights, they were starting to put it all back on the table and draw everything back. Black women told them.
Yep.
And I was very vocal about it to everybody. These reproduction laws, the way they're trying to pull back on birth control and repeal this, and you can't get abortion. This has nothing to do with Black women. We will be a byproduct of it. But this has everything to do with white women. But again, white women didn't listen. And now here we are, and it takes something like a TV show to wake them the fuck up. It has, it's like, when are you going to start? You name one ethnicity, one race of people that know. Black people know white people better than anybody, better than white people know themselves. And we've been telling white women for the longest, this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. But yet again, they don't want to listen to Black women. And now it takes a TV show to wake them the fuck up. It takes Trump being in office the second term to wake them the fuck up. Yeah. And they're still not woke the fuck. They're rousing from their sleep, but they're still not awaking yet. So,
because it ain't happened to them yet. That's why.
With that weak ass April 5th protest, I said that shit was so weak.
Come on now. Where they was walking around with flip-flops and babies on their back and strollers and shit. Yeah.
I said it was a big difference. I said it was a big difference between January 6th and April 5th protest. I said y'all should have did some January 6th type stuff if y'all gonna really do some stuff. I was like,
but see, that's the thing though. White people they've never been oppressed. They've never lost anything. They have not felt enough pain. They've not been caused enough
About bringing
damage
bounce
to
houses
get
to a
out
protest.
there and put their fatigues on, put some boots on, put a gas mask on, grab some mace, and get out there and fight. They have never been oppressed. So they do not believe they really in this lily white world of theirs, they can go peacefully talking, please, sir, don't harm us. Don't hurt us. Oh, please, sir. They really think that that's, you name me one historical movement where violence was not the result or the cause of it being pushed forward, where we had no choice but to kick the fucking door down to get change. It has never happened in history. And white people need to understand it's time to pick up some stuff. I'm not going to say what, but y'all know it's time to put them gas masks on. It's time to disable the face unlock and the codes on your phones. It's time to get out there and get ready to put your foot in somebody's ass. Because baby, simply going playing Tiny Tim, please, sir, please, ain't gonna get us nowhere. It ain't. It ain't. And as soon you out there asking for a bouncy house so that the children have something to do while
That
we're
pissed
out
me
here.
off.
Bitch, you want y'all was picnicking.
Why y'all want? This is not a party. This is not a block party. This is not a cookout. Y'all supposed to be
It's
protesting.
not a gathering. It's not a function. It's not the purpose of a protest. And then on a Saturday, I'll slap the shit out of every last
They
one of them.
want
The entire purpose of a protest is to disrupt business as usual. That means you get your ass up on a Monday morning when everybody's at work and you get out there and you make some noise.
Yep, disrupt them. And
but
this,
they want to be
They're not going to jeopardize their job. They're not going to.
No, they're not.
Not going to miss a day of work to fight for somebody else.
They're not. They have never had to fight anything, so they don't want to lose anything. Here's the thing: if you don't find something important enough, beneficial enough to put your life and your freedom on the line, stay at home. Stay at home.
and you know
Because
what?
when I was out in them streets protesting, I knew it was a very good chance that I wouldn't come home. I knew it was a chance that I could be killed, arrested, or whatever. If it is not important enough for you to risk everything you have, you need to stay at home.
And Janine, I'm gonna piggyback off this because I'm gonna get play these last videos before we run out of our video segments today. Good thing we got the full version though. So this is piggyback off of what we're saying. So I'm gonna show you some videos of what's currently going on. We know that everything going on with Israel and all that stuff. So this was a video I was seeing the other day, and these are just two kids that was trying to get some water, and the Israeli military just unalived them.
Oh my God.
And this brings
Oh my God.
This brings us to this white lady. If white folks want to use their voice, this is what we're talking about.
They're calling me an anti-Semite. I don't give a shit. Okay, I see what's happening clearly. I'm going to speak up about it, and no one's going to shut me up. Period. End of story. We see what's going on. The entire international community sees what's happening. The Israeli government wants to genocide and ethnically cleanse Palestinians.
What I find,
Thank too.
What I find
dealing with.
What I find amazing. What I find, hang on.
The offensive part about this entire conversation is how people insult our intelligence as if we're morons and we don't see clearly what is happening on the ground right now. We see it clearly. The international community sees it clearly. The only reason why our politicians here in the United States back Israel, regardless of what it does, whether we're dealing with Democrats or Republicans, is because they're all bought. But the international community sees what's going on for what it is. And it is a genocide. There's an attempted ethnic cleansing. And I'm sorry, but Egypt's not interested in aiding and abetting the ethnic cleansing of Palestinians from Gaza on behalf of the Israeli government. Not interested.
No, please.
I have to.
And then she also got in his ass again on this one.
That argument, Anna, that you are using was used in the 1930s and 40s, that Jews should not be safely evacuated to the United States. Jews should not be safely evacuated to Australia. They need to stay in Germany and they need to stay in Poland. Otherwise, it's an ethnic cleansing. What a ridiculous argument.
You're not going to
I'm not
silence
trying to
my
silence you. I'm
accent,
trying to
the
debate.
Holocaust, or calling me an anti-Semite. I don't give a shit. Okay, I see what's happening clearly. I'm going to speak up about it, and no one's going to shut me up. Period. End of story. We see what's going on. The entire international community sees what's happening.
And then she also gotten his ass on this one as well.
Israel wants to go to war with Iran. They should do it themselves without our military support, and that includes taxpayer dollars. Go do it.
Yep.
On the list, baby girl. Go do your thing. But leave America out of it. Our men and women in our armed forces shouldn't die on behalf of your country, period.
Okay.
Israel.
I know that's right.
And then this was with China. So China the other day, they were sitting here talking about China and Japan is on Iran's side, because you forgetting what just happened recently. Iran just got bombed by Israel as well.
Yeah.
That's just happened.
And they were
2 days ago.
Iran was sending in drones and they were shooting them down.
Yes, I said, and then guess who's leaving? Guess who's leaving after he sat here and bombed Iran? Let's watch this.
This right here is Netanyahu's plan. And guess what? It is leaving Israel as he initiates the conflict and runs off to Cyprus, leaving the people of Israel who did not make this decision to pay for his action. Israel started this. Israel struck Iran first. And Netanyahu decides while the drones are on their way to Israel to get in a plane and run, letting the people of Israel face the consequences of his action. Make sure to follow me on this account as I...
And then one last one regarding this before we get into it.
Anti-Semitic platforms like Gab have no place in Texas and certainly do not represent Texas values. What does represent Texas values is legislation like this by Representative King and Representative Copeland that fights anti-Semitism in Texas. Anti-Semitic platforms.
All right. So what y'all think of this?
You know what?
Everything else.
It's so frustrating because with the history of Jewish people and what their ancestors and their people suffered in the Holocaust, to turn around, and I'm going to say it, and I don't care who don't, you are the new Nazis. Israel is, they are the new Nazis. It is a genocide. It is ethnic cleansing, and calling slapping lipstick on a pig and trying to call it's still a pig. It is ethnic cleansing. It is genocide. And I 1000% agree. If Iran, and I don't wish war on anybody, but I hope China, because China's been sending aid supposedly. I really hope that everybody bands together like they keep talking about and shuts this shit down once and for all. And for the leader, everybody needs to take note of how the president of Ukraine, he put his he got out there with his people.
Yes.
He didn't run. Netanyahu wants everyone to fight, but you want to get in a plane and leave? No. You stand with your people, and the fact that they will still, this makes me emotional thinking about it, because what you just showed me, Chris, next time give me a warning, because that just messed my head up watching them kids. These are children that were simply trying to get water, and they were targeted as if they were in a tank going to blow something. These were children, man. It's nobody that can convince me that what Israel is doing is right on any level. And I'm not anti-Jew, although they are very much anti-Black. I'm not anti-anything. I'm pro fucking do the right thing, pro-humanity, and what they are doing is disgusting. And I really hope Iran, I hope China, I hope Japan, and there was another country that I can't think of right now, Yemen. I hope Russia. I hope they all band together and put a smackdown on Israel and wake them the fuck up. It's time for this to stop.
And you know what got me was when I was looking at the things that was going on, and we found out recently in Texas that they've been sending millions of dollars.
Yep.
It was a small town. It's like 70,000 people. but they've been sending their budget to Israel.
Yep.
If you say anything against it, it's anti-Semitic.
Forsaking that community, funding Israel at the expense of that baby. Look,
and I said, I'm a little over this anti-Semitic fucking term. I'm over it. I said, if you're sitting there murdering children and innocent people and for no reason, and then lied about it, because I knew it was a lie, because you know what was funny about it? Black people experienced this. We forget what happened in Pennsylvania when the government dropped bombs on that
building. Dropped a bomb on a community.
Yes. And then the media was like, oh, they got the Black Panthers and they were doing all these things. And I was like, but there was people in there cooking and eating. And I said,
there were babies, there were children.
And that's why I said there's something inherently, when I look at the votes and the percentages that vote, because they did a poll regarding how many people in Israel support what's going on in Palestine. 80%. 80%. I said, so you mean to tell me now that it's about to happen to them, since Iran's going to get in the ass, because everybody keeps forgetting Iran is really powerful. Iran got the heat to give you the heat. I said, you mean to tell me now that it's happened to them? I'm seeing videos of Jewish people crying and I'm like, y'all should have been doing that for the Palestinians. Y'all should have, y'all forgetting Netanyahu is one man. Hitler and all these people are one man. Y'all could all just stop doing any of this stuff and just say, why don't you get Trump's fat ass, Netanyahu, and whoever else put their ass in a Hunger Games dome, fight it out. Whoever wins, you get the United States. You get Israel. That's what they should do. But they're not like, and you spoke on it about the Ukraine president. The problem is we got these fat ass, evil, sadistic white folks in these positions that's not putting themselves out there on the front line. They're not like the kings and queens of old. So that's why they don't care about putting your kids out there to fight the wars while they're sitting here eating steak dinners and watching TV and sleeping in a Tempur-Pedic bed. They don't care because it's not happening to them. They're sending your sons and daughters out there. And that's what people have to realize.
I wholeheartedly agree. It's not, if you're calling some shit out, it's not anti-Semitic. If and again, it's no hate to all Jewish people, but if you're doing some foul shit and you get called out on it, how is that anti-Semitic? If I make a derogatory remark about a Jewish person, then that's anti-Semitic. If I say a slur to you, that's anti-Semitic. Exactly. If I tell you stop killing fucking children over some goddamn beef y'all done had that's centuries fucking old, that's not anti-Semitic. That's not being anti-Jewish. That's not being saying we don't like you. We're saying stop doing the foul shit you're doing. What's the problem? And if you take offense, this is one thing that I don't like across the fucking board. If you don't understand that when a generalization is made to make a valid point, it is not a personal attack. So when you have to immediately, when someone says a generalization and your first thing is you're listening to respond, you're not listening to understand, and you come in my comment section, it's not all white people, it's not all Jewish people, it's not all Latino people. I fucking know that. But I'm making a generalization to prove a valid point. And if you understand that that's a valid point and you wouldn't feel some type of way, if your knee-jerk reaction is to immediately say it's not all of us, that's giving me doth protest a little too motherfucking much. Because if you know you're not the person I'm talking to, you wouldn't have a knee-jerk reaction to say that, because you know I'm not talking about you specifically. Do you know how much shit I see with against Black people, generalizations made about Black people to prove invalid points? And I have never gone to somebody's comment section, well, that's not all Black people, because I know you're not talking to me.
What is your comment? If it doesn't fly, let the fuck fly.
Yeah, if it don't apply, let it the fuck fly. And you know who can't let it the fuck fly? White people.
They can't.
They're the main ones that can't let it fly.
Are we really like questioning the fact of how Jewish people are acting when in fact they are a form inside of Caucasian people? Like
I kept telling people that.
Caucasian.
They are white, and they forget the Jewish is not a fucking ethnicity. It is a religion. It is that. But here's the thing. It was something that I saw that said that they're getting some kind of DEI funding or some kind of funding based on the fact they're claiming Jewish as an ethnicity to get this funding. Which one is it? Is it an ethnicity or religion? Because the last I knew, it was a religion. So they're taking funding away from ethnicities because Jews are claiming Judaism as an ethnicity to get this funding. I wish I could find that video. It's crazy to me.
It's
It's
something.
crazy to me.
I told me something very demonic about them, and I said for you to sit there and have
Yes.
no empathy, and y'all talking to. And I'm like, when I look at them, I'm like, what goddamn book are y'all reading? Because when you look at Jesus' teachings, love your neighbor and love thyself and do these great things, I said, but they want to go to the Old Testament God who Jesus, when he died, washed all that shit away. You don't follow that shit. You follow my teachings now because I'm the one that died on the cross. But they want to go back to chopping off arms and doing hands-made tail stuff and taking out eyeballs and blowing up people. I'm confused on what are white people not processing when they're doing shit.
God made us in his image. White people took God and made him into theirs.
Yes.
That's all that is. God made us in his image. They don't like that. So that's why you got a white Jesus with long straight hair, because they think that if they can tout somebody that looks like them, that allows them to say, see, this is God, this is white Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And he's telling us that white people, if you have a white God, you can then claim white superiority. That's what that's about. Because that line, I go back to the movie, go back to Malcolm X in the movie when he was in there with the priest telling him what the Bible actually says, and that white man was shook because he was like, I can't. He was like, how do you know he was white? I don't know. But no, the book says this. So if y'all gonna go by the book, or you're not gonna go by the book? Because if you're going by the book, it says skin of bronze, hair of wool. That ain't white people.
That sure ain't.
If you look at where this shit takes place, wasn't no white people there. It was people of color. So which one the fuck is it? That's why I say they took God and made him in their image so that they can feign white superiority. Because if you tell people, hey, God looks like us, so that means we're the superior race. And if we're the superior race, we get to make the rules. So they changed what he looked like to fit their racist ass narrative. That's all that is. And so they made him in their image, not the image he actually is in. Because if you say the image he's in, he looks like us, not y'all. And they don't like that. They can't have that.
And you know what? And we're gonna close that out. But I'll tell this. Anybody that's watching this, because we're gonna post the clips of this. We're not anti-Jewish or anti-white or anti.
We're not anti anything.
But we want to sit here and at least address the stuff to you guys and make sure you guys understand what we're kind of discussing and talking about.
Before we go real quick, what I wanted to say about, because like we said, we equal opportunity, we get on everybody. I am tired of seeing Black people gaslight other Black people for their choice to not protest. If you want to go out there, that is your right. You can go out there. All I'm going to say is make sure you got bail money and an active life insurance policy, because you're going to need both. But stop gaslighting Black people who are choosing to sit this out. Everybody got their right. You want to fight? Go out there. Nobody is stopping you. We're just saying collectively, the majority of us, we're choosing to sit this one out and stop gaslighting us into making us feel bad, because you're no better than the white people and the Latino people that are doing the same fucking thing. And
they ain't making me feel bad.
And also, no, me either. But I'm saying also, if you talking about being on the front lines, go post your pics of you being out there. Don't do that shit from the comfort of your own home. I could say from the comfort of my home, I ain't going outside because I know I ain't going outside. But if you right here talking about Black people should be outside, post you being out there on the front.
Because if you outside, what you doing on social media, boo?
Exactly.
Posting from your bedroom if you outside.
Exactly.
Exactly. And the other thing is, even when it comes to that, just to piggyback off that real quick, don't just target the Blacks. Where's the Asians out there? Where's the go talk to Enrique Tarrio. Go ask him why he's doing this. Go talk to those people. Go ask the Muslims. Go ask the Jews. Why are you not out here protesting with us? Why are you not out here walking with us? Leave the Black people have done enough. The time to do that was November 5th, November 6th, whatever day y'all want to call it. And you didn't want unity. You wanted this. So it is what it is at this point. So we're going to, I'm going to play two videos. This one is called Fuck Around and Find Out. And then the other one is a Family Matters one that they were posted.
Ooh. Hey, sit back.
I don't even understand what I'm looking at. Somebody spray some pepper spray or
Oh,
something?
they spray bear mace.
Okay, good job. Oh, this right here, Lord have mercy.
I just want to know what program they use so I can buy it.
You'll never find. Some people say that he's losing his mind. And there must be some magic juice inside the one door. It's all I see. It's not the thing.
Not Jay-Z missing.
Oh, I know what I wanted to add about this because that triggered a look at this nigga.
AI is scary as shit.
It is, but
Oh
what
my.
I wanted, did y'all hear about that guy at the end, the Punisher? That Cameron, he went on Cameron's show and Cameron asked him how Cassie's, you know what, felt.
No,
That was the most disgusting shit to me. And I ain't never really fucked with Cameron hard like that, but this is the shit I'm talking about. That was so that woman was assaulted, and you basically asked the man who was paid to assault her how her business felt. That was the most disgusting shit, and I didn't know if y'all had saw that.
No, I didn't see that.
I didn't see it. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. When it comes to videos about what's going on with celebrities, and I don't watch that shit. That ain't even my steez. Because here's the thing, what the fuck does that have to do with me? And I'm not saying to discredit or anything, but I'm not concerned about what they're doing because they live in a completely different world.
That's true.
I have to concern
That just
myself
triggered
with
my
what's going
memory
on
when
in
I
my world.
saw him at the
But
end.
yeah,
But
that is
that was
very
so disgusting
distasteful.
to me.
It's disgusting, and he need his ass whooped for that. But I don't watch them celebrity videos. I don't get into none of that. I don't, never have.
Yeah.
The other thing was, just speaking of the pigback off there a little bit, Cassie ain't really no victim like that based off those text messages because she was her bodyguard. He was speaking on one of those shows, and he said that Cassie was doing the same thing to Kim Porter.
See, that's why I don't know everything. I look at it from the perspective of I just keep going back to that video where she was trying to leave and he beat the crap out of her.
Yeah.
And so when people say that she wanted it, it may have been a time where she, that's just like if a woman says yes at some point, but once she says no, it's fucking no. Yeah. And so I think I don't know. I'm not there. I can't allegedly, if that's how we got to say it. Maybe there was a point where she was okay with that. But whenever it shifted to she wasn't okay, then it should have stopped for her there. But again, like you say, we talked about it before. The abuser turns into the abused turns into the abuser because they're trying to escape it. That's just like when it's trafficking, you bring a new girl in so you can get some fucking release. Doesn't make it right, but that's what the understanding is as to why you're bringing somebody into it, because that's the only way you can get some semblance of release. And again, I'm not advocating for that at all. So it's like, I try to stay clear of that. I just go back to that video when clearly she was trying to leave and you didn't let her. So even if, and again, not making it right, if she was in on it at some point, whenever the tide shifted to her saying, I don't want to do this, I don't want to be a part of this, and you did not allow her to leave, you can't escape the fact that at that point, she is a victim. So regardless of the fact, we have to see it that way. But like Ms. Janine said, they're in a different world. I just don't like it when people say, oh, well, she wanted the high life, as in it never stopped. You have to go back to that video when he beat the crap out of her, because clearly she was trying to leave it at some point. So even if she was a part of it or enjoyed whatever, at some point she no longer did. And when a woman says no, it's fucking no.
Miss Janine is like, I don't give a fuck about them.
You know what? And
motherfuckers.
I don't give a fuck, bitch. I'm sitting over here wanting to figure out how I'm gonna pay my motherfucking electric bill. Let me tell you something.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah,
I agree. And then let me just hit on this. You know, the people that make a lot of these videos are doing it based on like 60-second, 30-second, 15-second clips. I wouldn't want somebody trying to profit off of the pain in my life.
Yeah.
So when I watch people making these videos about shit that doesn't directly affect them or somehow affects them because they're doing it for likes and clicks, I don't respect that. You get zero fucking respect from me, because pain is pain. It's one thing to I just don't. Look, let me tell you something. I got a daughter that's constantly in my pockets. I got a son that's constantly in my pockets. I got bills. I got shit I'm trying to do. The fuck I give about 50 Cent, Diddy, Jay-Z, or anybody. I don't.
And I agree with that. And I see it. That's why when these people have these parasocial relationships where they're going after a fan group of another celebrity, it's just like that's because it's like those people don't know you. I love Beyonce, but that lady don't know me.
Ready to fight
you. They be ready to fight. And it's like that lady. That lady don't know me. And even if she met me, she still ain't gonna be my friend. Like I met Beyonce.
But wait a minute, the crazy part is these same people will condemn MAGA for how they sucking Trump's vagina, but will be ready to fight you over one of these celebrities that don't know you exist.
Exactly. So it's like, I get it. I just, I thought about that because I saw the guy. That's what triggered my memory about that. But you're right. And that's like when I use AI, I'm very careful. Like I do my parody songs and stuff like that. And it's me making fun of Trump. It's me making fun of you fucked around and you found out, but it's limits to the shit. Like I would never make something about the Diddy case or about sexual assault. Because
they be making whole ass think pieces.
That's never gonna be funny.
Like they was in the room and they got everybody's number and they got videos and they go, shut the fuck up. Shut up, bitch. What's going on in your life that you don't want somebody talking about? Because I know I got some shit that if I don't share it, bitch, and you found out about, bitch, I'm finna fight with you. So leave people. That ain't come on.
Well,
if I tell you about it, that means I want to talk about it. If I tell you personally, if I get on there and make a video of it, y'all are taking snippets from shit that nobody came to them and told them personally. They ain't talked to nobody. I'm not finna take a 60-second snippet and make a 20-part think piece and be ready to fight somebody.
That's stupid.
Come on.
But I'm glad that we was able to end this segment. Thank y'all so much. And we're gonna go out with the outro. So Nikki, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me again on TikTok is bitch happens, all one word. On Instagram is bitch_happens, and YouTube is knickknack23. That's NIKNAK23.
All right, and Miss Janine.
Y'all can find me Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Blue Sky, every platform there is. Boss up and get it now. Real simple.
And Maya got snacks. I love the hat. Can you explain the hat before you give your outro? Swearing helps.
Okay, so I got this hat off of TikTok shop, and it's because everybody always tell me I need to stop cussing, and I'm just like, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna cuss anyway. Cussing helps. It seasons a sentence. I don't know. Something about swearing that feels right to me. So I'm gonna fucking cuss. And where y'all can find me at, I'm Maya Lamise on all fucking platforms because I'm gonna fucking cuss. And if you okay with cussing, make sure you follow all of us because we all gonna fucking cuss and we all gonna tell it like it is. Okay.
Amen. Well, that is the end of the podcast today. I thank everybody for tuning in. Please go and follow, like, share, and subscribe to everybody that's on this. This is our co-host. We're coming out with a project soon. Miss Nikki has been doing a great job in doing some edits. Maya and Janine has been a great job at doing some management behind the scenes. So please stay tuned. It's coming. I had a few people ask me. I know y'all had a few people ask y'all as well. So just be patient. We're working on it. And we will let you know when it comes out. So
we are under construction.
So thank y'all and have a good day.